Hey, what's up, everybody? The Crab Gamer here. As promised, pretty prompt by my standards. I want to thank you guys all for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Um, okay, so I guess I've already got some people in here, which is pretty cool. I appreciate you guys taking some time out to join me live or whatever. I'm been pretty positive feedback so far with everything. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started on some of these comments. I did this once before and it had pretty good, they got pretty good reception, so I'm looking forward to that again. Okay, let's see. First off, Chuck the Beast says, how was your day? He doesn't feel that enough people ask this, so he thought he would. So far, so good. No work or anything like that today, so just kind of a lazy Saturday. His second question is, what is my favorite classic console, like the Nintendo 64 and so on? I would probably say the Dreamcast. I have a lot of fond memories of the Dreamcast. It's one of the most underrated consoles of all time. I definitely enjoy that console quite a bit. I still have it. I still use it. It's still hooked up in my game room. So, yeah, definitely the Dreamcast. Let's see, moving on. Wow, there was a lot of people talking after that first comment. Let's see, Lolly Lover 97 says, why are you such a Xbox cock gobbler? All I ever see you do is take quotes out of context, like last video to be, for example, and try to lie and use it as ammo. Laughing my ass off. How about you go out, try to get a girl, get some pussy, something, because this is really sad and pathetic. Maybe if you owned more PlayStation platforms, you would get more pussy. Anyway, have fun with your BS lies you're spreading while I get some head tonight. I'll respond by that by saying you're probably 11 years old, so yeah, have fun getting that imaginary head. Second thing, to equate the amount of pussy or ass you're going to get with which console you have is just ridiculous. I mean, come on, grow up. As for the quotes and things like that, it didn't really matter from my perspective. Maybe it mattered to some other people's perspectives. I'm a gamer that plays AAA titles. There's millions of people just like me. It's the same thing with AAA or non-independent movies. Are you gonna go waste money to go see some indie, artsy kind of movie, or do you want to go see the movie that's going to have a lot of action and high production value? And of course, it's going to be the high production value. Same thing for me with video games and AAA titles. I felt like this was one of Sony's CEOs of, his studio for their studios is saying, hey, he doesn't understand a particular facet of gamer. Believe it or not, there is a huge amount of gamers out there that only want a game with AAA titles, which is why those indie titles that go free up on their service or rentals or whatever, which is why a lot of people don't download them, is because they don't want them, and I don't blame them. If I'm a new console owner and I spent money for a new console, I'm going to want titles that show off what that console can do. It's plain and simple. Let's see. What do we got here? Hard Luck Gaming. Do you know that PlayStation fanboys hate you more than Zaire now? Ever since you stepped up your talking and become the face of Big Gamer Small Talk podcast. I notice a lot of Xbox haters are now attacking you. You are officially another celebrity in the gaming community. They hate me. I don't know. I mean, that's just, I guess, opinion, really. I don't know. I don't think I've stepped up to become the face of the podcast. We all kind of have our moments, and it's really Next Gen's baby. He kind of like put that whole thing together, and we all mesh really well. So I think that's why that podcast works. I think that people, even if they hate me, they're still going to watch it just because they like to hear what I have to say. So either way, it works out. As far as I'm concerned. Good question, though. Let's see. I got just some comments when I asked for questions. Travis Powell asks, how old were you when you first realized you were compelling? I've been compelling since I was probably about 3 or 4 years old, and the compellingness hasn't stopped since. It's just all been one compelling day after the other, and it's, continues to be that way. So hopefully, you guys find me compelling. A lot of that is just a joke. I mean, hopefully people don't take this too seriously. I try to do content that, that appeals to everybody. If I got to put out 3 different videos a day to appeal to my audience, and that's fine. Not everybody is going to like news videos, so I try to put out the reviews. Not everybody watches me for reviews. They maybe like some gameplay videos or something. So I try to mix it up and put out as much content as I possibly can, and just kind of leave it at that. Yan Gagliardi says, I'm subscribing to your channel right now. Well, thanks, Yan. I really liked your videos. Question: why do Sony fanboys hate so much the Xbox One? I think that they look at it maybe as a threat. I suppose. I have no idea outside of that. They like whatever isn't their console. Like my boy Big Kahuna says. They don't like their console. They just hate yours. I just wish that they would focus more on their own kind of console. And yeah, I'm an entertainer, so I'll focus a bit on everything. And, that's kind of what I do. But these people that don't have channels or entertainers or anything, and they just spend all their time hating on something they don't even own, probably haven't even tried. So I think that that's kind of ridiculous and sad. And for the most part, they have my pity, and I laugh at them, and it's all good fun. So. Killswitch says, congrats, crap. At this rate, I'll bet you'll be at 10K before the year ends. That's the goal. So I really appreciate it, Killswitch. Thanks. Blackie Lebowski. Hey, what's up, Blackie? I like your channel too, bro. He says, what's your favorite meal? I like, believe it or not, Thanksgiving is something that I look forward to. I get like the turkey. I look forward to that every year, like the turkey. So yeah, I would say that's definitely my favorite meal. Microbox of X says, any games you really looking forward to next year, or something you'd like to see that hasn't been announced yet? I'm really looking forward to at least 2 games next year, and that's Quantum Break and Halo 5. Everything else is just filler at that point. Those are the 2 games that I'm most looking forward to. Hey, and Microbox of X, man, I really like your channel too. I really think you got some good content, so hopefully you can continue to grow and do a good job, man. I'll support you in any way you want, or if you ever want to join me on a podcast or something, maybe not the Big Gamers podcast, but my own, or just do a little video or something, let me know. Red Twist says, if you could only pick up one game this year, which would it be? It would be Sunset Overdrive, and I actually have a video coming out later today explaining why, but I'll give you a little bit of an idea as to why. It's because we buy these new consoles. We want that new experience. Yes, a lot of people are going to buy them for the Halos or the Marios or the Uncharted, but we want those games that really show off the newness, something that is fresh. And so Sunset Overdrive, to me, is that. It's that game that you would have to have. It's the Gears of War to the Xbox One, you know what I mean, as to what Gears of War was to the Xbox 360. So yeah, it would be Sunset Overdrive. That game just looks phenomenal. It looks like it's going to have a ton of replay value because you have the campaign, which looks to be really strong, and then you have this amazing looking multiplayer, which Xbox Live is known for, and things like that. Let's see. I'll Drain Your Soul says, what big franchises do Microsoft have over Sony other than Gears of War, Halo, Forza, and Fable? I don't think that it's have over. I think that each company has their stable of 3 to 5 that sell really well, and then a bunch of lesser titles. But what I would say is, what franchises are Sony known for? I mean, they've been around an entire generation before Microsoft and the Xbox, and yet they're not really known or have a mascot per se after all these years, whereas Microsoft is clearly known as the Master Chief as their mascot. Nintendo has multiple mascots. You could either go with Mario or Zelda, or Link, or you could go with Samus, they have multiple mascots that they're known for, whereas I think Sony doesn't. They kind of have lost their identity a bit over the last few years or the last couple generations, in my opinion. And I think they tried to do a push for Sackboy to be their type of mascot, but I don't think that worked out too well. Phil the Gamer says, if you had only $60, what game or games would you buy? You can't buy any game you've already played, and it has to be relatively new. It can also be any game that has been announced up until Christmas 2014. I just answered that question, so it would be Sunset Overdrive for sure. Michael Lugo says, so what do you think of Sony just making indie titles and not making AAA titles, and will it make a difference for you or Sony ponies? They're not just making indie titles. What they're doing is they don't have a lot of money, so they're going to try to rely on having like DLC, time DLC on multi-platform games. They're going to probably release, a few AAA exclusives every year, and then they're going to rely on a lot of ports. I mean, that's why the PS4 is so easy to make games for. They did it that way specifically so that they could get these easy indie ports and free-to-play ports and things like that. So to me, it's not what I buy a new console for, but, to other people who maybe like those type of things, then that's more power to them. Let's see. Ryan Dirijalala, sorry if I butchered your last name. He says, why do you call yourself Crap Gamer? Way back in 2005, when I started playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 online, I wanted a kind of a funny name, but also ironic because I was pretty good at the game, and I thought it was kind of funny if people got killed by someone who called themselves Crap Gamer, and so it just kind of grew from there. And people call me Crappy for short. I run a gaming clan, and they're like, hey Crappy. So when I started the channel, it was like Crappy Reviews seemed like a good, obvious thing. My brother actually suggested that. So, and he says, if Samsung bought off PlayStation, do you think Microsoft might die off? No, I think competition is good, and I think that no matter who has the PlayStation brand, that there always should be and needs to be three types of competitive natured gaming consoles. You know what I mean? Sorry about that. I just had to block somebody on the chat, apparently. But anyway, yeah, cool. Let's see, what do we have here? Also, he says, last question. Are you going to get the long-rumored Microsoft smartwatch this October? Man, I love me some Microsoft products. I'm not going to lie. I got me a Windows phone and all the Xboxes and Windows this and that, so probably. What is this? Fazzy Gaming HD. Why are you so scared to debate Blackbuster Critic after all the shit you've been talking? Well, I don't think I've really been talking shit. I said that I didn't really find what he did to be very compelling, and that's not really shit talking. Actually, I believe somebody pointed out one of his videos where he mentioned me, and so it was really more of a kind of response to that. I don't particularly want my channel to turn into that kind of channel. So what it basically comes down to is, to my understanding, it was to be a debate about PS4 versus Xbox One or something along those lines, or the next-gen consoles, just kind of a little debate or whatever. And it turns out he doesn't own any next-gen consoles. So I was like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose, and it was something that I wasn't really, it was kind of more of going to be like a sideshow kind of thing. And then I actually went and watched some of his stuff, which I had never done before, and it was like the furthest thing from a debate. I mean, it was kind of laughable, and I was like, well, I don't really want to be a part of that or have that on my channel. So it's not anything about being scared or anything like that. I mean, I'm a grown-ass man. If somebody wanted to really debate me and do point counterpoint, moderators have a time limit. You pick their sides beforehand. You have your time to do that, so that you know what you're going to talk about ahead of time. Then that's perfectly fine with me. But at least have the damn consoles. So yeah, that's not exactly a great question, but I'll go ahead and answer it anyway. Mega King of Noobs says, thank you for your great videos and for covering news that the Sony biased media just sweeps under the rug. No, thank you for noticing. A lot of the stuff that I do cover I mean, some of it you can find other places, but not everybody goes to some of these other sites. A lot of people have sworn off these bigger sites like IGN and GameSpot, and people don't want to go to N4G or NeoGAF because these places are super, super biased. They want to pander to the PlayStation crowd because they get hits by doing so. So if they want to come to me for some of this news, then that's fine, and I appreciate that. It's the reason I do it, That's the reason I do it. Mike Rose says, what do you think about this console generation so far? Do you think they are too weak out of the gate compared to previous gens, and especially PC? Do you really see this lasting 5 to 8 years? I like this gen so far. I absolutely love my Xbox One. I like the Wii U a lot too. I don't own a PS4, so I can't really speak for that. Do I think they're too weak? I don't think so at all. I think that in comparison, when I first played Rise, Son of Rome, when I got my Xbox One home, you could see the leap right away. Whereas last gen, when I got my Xbox 360 and I'm playing Perfect Dark Zero or something along those lines, I didn't see a huge leap at the time because, believe it or not, Doom 3 came out on the original Xbox right before the Xbox 360 came out, and I thought that game looked better than some of the launch games on 360, so I didn't see a big leap last gen at first. I do see a bit of one this gen. What I'm not happy about this generation is, which I can't really blame these companies for doing it, is supporting the old consoles for a lot longer than previous generations would. Which I think is causing there to be a lack of progress for the new games because they're making games that cover both generations. And this isn't always a problem, but it's a problem with games like Destiny, which they've already said the reason why it's 30 frames per second is because they're making last-gen versions, and I think that this is a bit of a problem. PC is always going to be the best option for anybody that just is strictly graphics or frames per second or whatever like that. The downside of that is they don't get the exclusives that the consoles get, and not everybody's a PC guy who wants to sit there at their computer or whatever. I'm definitely not a PC guy at all. Do I see this generation lasting 5 to 8 years? It'll definitely last 5 years. They'll support them for probably 10 years, like they said, just like the Xbox 360. That's already in the 9th year, and it's still getting exclusives. It's still getting support. So just because they're going to support something for that long doesn't mean they won't come out with a successor beforehand. So hopefully that helps out. Let's see. The V Gamer 007 says favorite James Bond villain in general. Let's see. I have never watched James Bond. I've never seen a single James Bond movie. I have no idea to really answer your question. Sorry about that, but I've never watched a single James Bond movie. Sam H says, I would love the Virtue and Killer Instinct. I'm working on some times and games to game with you guys on. It doesn't matter to me if it's 360 or Xbox One, whatever, so it's probably going to be something along the lines of Titanfall one night, Forza 5 one night, whatever you guys are interested in doing, maybe Call of Duty Ghosts, whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's see. Costa Joker 1, your thoughts on collecting for the Xbox 360? Xbox 360 is probably my favorite console to collect for. I have over 300 games for it, physical games, probably like around 400 if you count all the digital stuff that I have as well. I think that it's really fun to collect for it. It's a really good time to collect for it because a lot of the stuff, it's like I said, it's a 9-year-old console already, so a lot of the stuff that came out earlier is really cheap. I mean, you can get Gears 1, 2, and 3 for I think less than $20. You know what I mean? So it's really cheap to collect for. It's really fun. The games still look great. So yeah, I think that it's an awesome console to collect for, and it could be my all-time favorite console. And the reason why I say that is because the Xbox One is just too new. So we don't know. The book hasn't been written on that yet. Let's see. Balmy Venus says, "Why are you so awesome?" I don't know. I was just born that way, I guess. I don't really think I'm awesome. I just think that I do what I can. I think that I interact with everybody, with the fans and the people that like my channel, and I think a lot of channels neglect to do that for people. So I think, or they just take you guys for granted, or they just maybe insult your intelligence. I see some channels. They flip-flop, or they go with whatever is popular to hate on or popular to like, or change the name of their channel, or they're opportunists, or try to latch on to something to see what works to get them the most views or whatever. And I don't do that. I think because that's a lot of work. I'd much rather be myself and be genuine. And I think that a lot of people, you guys in particular, respond to that, and I'm really appreciative for that. Let's see here. Amir Effect says, which is your favorite franchise of all time and why? I think that probably Halo is my favorite franchise, and that's just because I had never really liked or enjoyed first-person shooters on a console outside of, like GoldenEye and things like that. And then when Halo came around, I think that that changed everything for a lot of people, including me. And so, yeah, I think that Halo is my favorite franchise of all time. XDOS216 says, what do you think of Wolfenstein? I think Wolfenstein is awesome. Sleeper hit of the year for sure. Jacob LeClaire, where do you see yourself on here in 1 year, Crappy? Hopefully 10 to 12,000 subscribers. Doing a lot of different things. I'm looking to maybe possibly recruit a person or two to help sustain a level of content that you guys are used to, maybe cover some different things. I like doing the thing is I always I'll come up with an idea to do something like a video, like a top 5 thing, and then I'll think of something else like the Let's Plays or the Fat Guy Plays or whatever, and then so I'll want to do those, and then I'll go off on the top 5 or the Thursday throwdowns for a while. It's because I have so much idea for content and not a lot of time. So I try to do as much as possible. So I definitely would be interested in maybe bringing in a fledgling YouTuber or two to do some comment, maybe build up your own kind of fan base, and we could help each other out in that way. So that's something I'm definitely going to be interested in the future. Let's see, Berserker Infinity says, I could have sworn you hit 5K a while ago. Anyway, when are we going to start seeing you some live streams? You tell us how great of a console the Xbox One is, but you never demonstrate. I demonstrate it all the time because I do a lot of reviews, and the games have been going over really well for me. I've been enjoying them. I upload some of the gameplay clips as often as possible. I can't live stream per se because I don't have a good enough internet connection to live stream. It's one of the reasons why I don't do extremely long gameplay videos, because it would take a long time to upload. My download speed is okay, but my upload speed is horrendous. I live out in the country here in Florida, so yeah, that's why. Don't let that fool you into thinking that the Xbox One isn't amazing, because it's the balls. It's the bee's knees, let me tell you that right now. Let's see, Michael says, congrats on 5K. Question, in your opinion, what was the best part of Microsoft's E3 and what was the worst part about Sony's? Microsoft's best part about E3 was the Halo Master Chief Collection. And the reason behind that was because we weren't really sure what we were going to get. We thought Halo 2 Anniversary for sure. Then we got the rumor of the collection. Then we had this rumor of Halo The Journey, which was just going to cut up some of the best parts. And so for it to turn out to be 4 games, all 4 have their own multiplayer, 100 maps, dedicated servers, a beta for Halo 5, a digital movie explaining who Locke is, I think all that for $60 is just amazing, and that was surprising and fun to see that. That was definitely probably Microsoft's best moment at this past E3. Sony's worst part was Powers, but overall that whole section where they were just going on and on about movies and entertainment and apps and stuff, I thought was just horrendous. It was really boring. I didn't like that at all. Super Casual says, Destiny, Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, or Battlefield Hardline. Which are you most excited to play this year? Also, will you be playing with subs when these drops? Destiny is the one that I have pre-ordered right now. I am not a fan of Battlefield, so I'm probably not going to pick up Hardline. Call of Duty looks okay. This might be the first year since 2005 that I don't get a Call of Duty game, so I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, I'm always down for playing with subs. MOH space crap gamer is my gamer tag. You guys can always add me and send me messages if you want to play or whatever. Let's see. What do we got here? Microbox of X asks another one. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, no, he just has more of a comment. Phil the Gamer says, any tips to grow channels? I just did a video yesterday on how to grow your channel. The thing to do is not to get frustrated. You know, I mean, you want people that are going to come view your content. You don't want them to just have a sub just so you can say, hey, look how many subs I have. You know, my subs have all grown organically. Anytime I have like almost 5,100 now, so you have to look at keep things in perspective. Don't worry if some of your videos don't hit, like get 2,000 views. That's okay, or however you go. You got to build things up and just keep the content steady is my suggestion. The VG Gamer says, oh, he's got more questions about James Bond, so I have no answer to that, bro. Sorry. XDOS says, what race are you? I am American. I'm white. Of Italian descent, but I'm a Caucasian male. The VG Gamer says, why is your thumbnail Mario? You're an Xbot. Well, I like Mario a lot. He's an Italian plumber. I can relate. I'm, an Italian American. Well, I'm Italian descent, but American. But yeah. Favorite console of each of the big three console manufacturers. If you're talking about now, it's the Xbox One. If you're talking about of all time, probably the 360. Favorite console of each gen starting at the NES. Okay, I liked the NES, and then I went with the Genesis for the 16-bit era. I would probably say the PlayStation 1, and then the Dreamcast. It's hard saying what the Dreamcast was really competing against. I preferred... it was pretty close between the Xbox and the PlayStation 2 for me. And then the Xbox 360, hands down, was my favorite console of last gen. My favorite game, man, that's really hard saying. It probably would be Halo, one of the Halo games. So, yeah. Favorite war, as in to read or watch about, I think World War II. Because I think that has a rich history, and that's one of the wars that I believe that we firmly belonged in and was doing for the right reasons. So yeah, let's see. Favorite game about World War II? Probably World at War, Call of Duty World at War. Favorite character? Homer Simpson. Favorite historical figure? John Lennon. Let's see. Grayson Young says, what's every system you've owned and your favorite game for each one? Jesus. Coleco. Well, I'm going to try to answer this. I don't know, man. Let's see. Coleco, I own that. Man, I can't even remember what games were for that. I've owned an Atari 2600, and my favorite game for that is probably, you think, Frogger. I had an NES, and my favorite for that was Mario 3. Sega Master System, my favorite for that was Where is Carmen Sandiego? The Genesis was Sonic 2. Super Nintendo was Mario World. PlayStation 1, probably Crash Bandicoot. Dreamcast was probably Sonic Adventure. Let me think. What else we got here. Let's see. N64, probably Mario 64. I think. Blah blah blah. PlayStation 2. Probably. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a thing and say Battlefront 2 probably for the PlayStation 2 because I played that game nonstop. The original Xbox for me was probably Halo or KOTOR. GameCube was Mario Kart Double Dash. Game Gear, which is probably one of the Sonic games. I mean, I own so many damn consoles, man. The Wii would be Mario Galaxy 2. Wii U would be Mario Kart 8. PlayStation 3 would be Uncharted 2. Xbox 360 would possibly be Alan Wake or one of the Halos. Yeah, that's all I can like think of just offhand. I don't have all my stuff like in front of me to look at, so hopefully, um, you guys, that does okay for you guys. Let's see. Jonathan Ibarra says, my only question, what you think about favoritism towards a single console? I think we all have our favorite consoles. I mean, let's just be honest with that. No matter if you have all three, that doesn't exclude you from having a favorite. I had all three last generation, and still my favorite was the Xbox 360. Now, I think that there's also like this fanatical thing where people refuse to get another console, and I think that's crazy. If the PlayStation 4 does come out with some games, because it's based on gaming, so if it does come out with some games that I'm interested in, I'm not going to just go, oh man, that sucks, because I'm never going to get one. I'm going to say, well, I got to get one now. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. And when people don't look at it that way, that's pretty confusing, because why wouldn't you buy a console if it has good games? Let's see. The Boss Master 99 says, what is your future plans for totally wiping out the entire Sony Pony race? I have no plans for that. I don't care about Sony ponies, to be honest with you. And not to be confused with Sony fans or just PlayStation fans, because they're different. And then there's the fanatical ones that just are totally batshit crazy. So my plan is to just keep doing what I'm doing and having fun. And if that annoys them, then all the better. Torty Man says, opinion on Sunset Overdrive, and do you think Xbox can catch up to PS4 sales? I think Sunset Overdrive is awesome. It's definitely the most, it's going to be the most sought after exclusive of this year. Probably one of the better exclusives, if not the best exclusive since the launch of either console. So I'm really looking forward to that. As for the sales thing, I have no idea. I think anything's possible. I don't really care about the whole sales aspect. It's something that I like play around with, for hits or whatever. But at the end of the day, a console that I like selling more doesn't make me enjoy it more. I mean, the Xbox 360 like literally obliterated the PlayStation 3 for the majority of last generation, and in the United States it still is. I mean, just what is it, like 15, 20 million ahead? But that never increased my fun with it. Just like I had, when I'm having fun with the PS3, when it was getting killed and shit on, I didn't have less fun with that because it was selling less. So I think people should look at it more like that, instead of, oh my gosh, these aren't sports teams fighting back and forth. You know what I mean? They're consoles. It'd be like arguing over which car sells more. You know what I mean? Some of it's just ridiculous to me. So yeah. Gibmeister says, I always message my subs and game with them all the time. If it wasn't for the community, we wouldn't be here. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. This always comes down to the community. Shifty Cent says, why does your Drivatar always try to wreck me? Because I play Forza 5 like I play Forza 5 like bumper cars sometimes, man. I just have fun with it, like running people off the road. I was actually trying to do a demonstration with the Drivatar to see if it really picked up how I played. So for weeks when I played, all I did was crash into people. And I've been getting a lot of messages saying that indeed my Drivatar does do that. Slayer Ming 1 says, congrats. What are some of your favorite movies? The Star Wars movies, Rocky. I like some older stuff like Cool Hand Luke, Rebel Without a Cause, The Alamo, like the John Wayne stuff. I like a wide range of movies, a little bit of everything, but, I like the Avengers and, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I like a wide range of stuff, but if I had to say what my favorite movies are, it's like the Star Wars saga, and, I like Indiana Jones and stuff like that. Let's see. Alchemist says, "What are your thoughts on Anita Sarkeesian and the possible influence she is pushing into the gaming community?" I have no idea who that is. I guess I should have maybe looked at some of these comments beforehand, so I could have possibly looked that up. Um, but yeah, I apologize. I have no idea who that is. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's see. Phil Wilkinson says, "I've got two questions for you. Um, What do you think of VR? Massive waste of money or an exciting prospect?" I've been on the record as saying I'm not interested in VR at all. It's not just because it's like Sony thing is doing it. I was against it when Oculus was doing it. If you guys are into it, then don't let my opinion sway you on that fact. The fact of the matter for me is I don't like to be encumbered when I'm gaming, and I don't see VR as something that a lot of people are going to like to do, especially all the time, just having stuff over your face. It seems like it's going to get hot and very cumbersome, and I don't think that there's going to be a lot of games that are going to support it. I think that it's the new 3D gaming fad, where you're going to see probably a lot of people talking about it, but depending on how well it does will be the real question. Like for me, I'm not interested in it at all. I get headaches from even like 3D and things like that, so I'm not really interested in 3D or VR at all. Secondly, if I could take one title off Nintendo and Sony for the Xbox and put it on the Xbox One, what would it be? For Nintendo, man, it might be Zelda. Yeah, I think Zelda is awesome, and I would put that on the Xbox One. And for Sony, it would be God of War, because that's probably my favorite series on there. And if I'm not going to lie, if God of War was on the Xbox, there would be no reason for me probably to ever buy a PlayStation. So I'd save some money right there. Not to sound like a dick, but just so you guys know, there's not a whole lot. I mean, if you guys like a bunch of the stuff that Sony puts out, that's fine. I've never been a huge fan of a lot of their exclusives. I liked Uncharted and God of War. And so, I like some of the smaller ones, like Puppeteer, like some things like that. But a lot of the bigger stuff that they put out or that you guys seem to like, I'm not a fan of. So, I like some of the earlier PlayStation stuff, like Siphon Filter and things like that. But lately, I would say the last gen and a half, probably not much that would convince me to buy a PlayStation 4. Bear999.com says, "How glorious would a new Rampage game be? The first-person, full online multiplayer where you could destroy full cities and fight giant monsters and armies with full clad rendering. Every map destructible." What do I think? I think a Rampage game would be cool. I don't think that it would ever be a game that would see like a full retail release, but I could see it being like maybe a digital release or something like that. Definitely, man, I'd be behind that. I am Everyday Gamer says, "Congrats, nice thumbnail, respect." Thanks, I appreciate it. Conquer B at Hayabusa, "Congrats on getting more subs. I still remember when you had 1,000 subs. Good job, keep up the good work." Hey, thanks, I appreciate it. Jay Williams says, "Yo, crap, what's your opinion of the unaccessible gaming? Do you think developers should put more customization in their games for disabled gamers needing to remap controller functions?" More accessible gaming, I'm all for that. They're already doing so many controller configurations. I think that obviously if there is a need for disabled gamers to be able to have an option to switch it to an easier method of gaming, I'm absolutely for that. I think anybody should be able to game that can, no matter what their disability is. So I'm all for that. Smashmaster86 says, "Congrats, crap. What is your favorite moment or most proudest accomplishment in a video game?" I don't know. My favorite moment might be when I beat KOTOR for the first time. That was just like an epic thing for me. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be it. Adonis Antonia says, "Congrats, Crappy. Eventually you'll get 10K subs and even further on." He just basically says congrats, so I appreciate it. Let's see. OJ Garza says, "Houston Texans going to the Super Bowl. Didn't they name Fitzpatrick as quarterback? If that's the case, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. They'll probably be lucky to win 3 games." But thanks for the good question or comment. BroPro15 says, how do you feel about the spoiled adults and the bitchin' preschoolers constantly talking about 1080 shit and 60 fucks per second, which are otherwise known as the Sony ponies that ruin gaming? Um, you know, I think it's stupid because you never heard any of this stuff last generation, or if you did, it was very rare. Most people just, thought, hey, that game looks great. I remember when I first saw Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, we all just thought, hey, those look great. We never questioned what the resolution was or anything like that. I think that it's just a typical thing where, you need something to talk about, I guess, and that's, I guess, going to be it for a little while. People are going to talk about that. The odd thing to me about this is not every game is 1080p on the PlayStation 4. Going forward, not every game will be. As far as 60 frames per second, that is ideally what you'd want. But if you're going to go for 1080p all the time, it's going to be harder and harder to get 60 frames per second. 1080p doesn't really interfere with game. It doesn't interfere with gameplay at all. 60 frames per second, possibly. But then again, if you're putting in at 60 frames per second and it's dropping all the time, that's bad. If you can get locked 30, or if you can get a lock 60, then yeah, I think that'd be fine. But the odd thing to me was that PlayStation 4 has no big exclusives that are 1080p and 60 frames per second. The Xbox One is still the only console that has that has a game running that. So it was always funny to me when they were all talking about 1080p 60 and they don't even have a game running that. And one of the big games that they supposedly had running that, which was Killzone Shadowfall, turned out not to be 1080p, is more like 720p and not even 60 frames per second. So yeah, I always thought that it was a bit hypocritical to be talking about those things. So I think it's stupid to, it's something that I'm not really into talking about very much anymore. I think that once down the line here within the next year, it's going to be like something you're not even going to hear anymore. Rob D. Real says, congrats, man. I enjoy your videos. Thanks. I appreciate the support. Stephen Hancock says, glad on your achievement. There's obviously an audience. He says, what shades do I wear? I wear some custom sunglasses. I get those made for me. I have a big-ass head. Second question, if I'm allowed. What's my most anticipated announced game on the Wii U, PS4 that excites me most? Wii U is probably Smash Brothers, or maybe Splatoon. That game really excited. When I saw the preview for that, it got me pumped up. For the PS4, I don't know. There's not much. Maybe Uncharted 4. I haven't really seen anything on it. I would like to actually see some gameplay, maybe some story, something like that. Right now there's not really much known. Noah Seiler says, what's your opinion of indies? Are they all bad, or are they just fun for a couple of days? Look, like I said, my opinion doesn't have to be your opinion. I buy these consoles to play AAA games. I think that, and I might do a video on this because I was thinking about it. I think that indies, depending on the age of the gamer, a lot of these indies, I get a sense of deja vu. I've been gaming for over 25 years, so a lot of these indies are doing stuff and ripping off games that I played, 20 odd years ago. So it doesn't seem new to me. It doesn't seem fresh to me. These indies certainly aren't pushing the industry or these consoles. They could definitely be done on last-gen hardware and even phones. So for me, they're not something that I'm interested in. Now, as far as other people, that's fine if you like them. I'm not saying I hate them all. I just saying I think that people are putting too much emphasis on them these days, and they're not really my thing. And I've never had an indie where it really kept my interest for that long, much less play for a couple of days. Orlando Diaz says, do you like Minecraft? Minecraft is okay. I haven't played it anymore since originally on the 360, and I thought it was okay. I can see why people like the creation aspect of it, but as for me, it just isn't really my thing. Something that I'm going to go back into and play and spend a lot of time with. Alta Wolf 123 says, "What made you choose the original Xbox instead of PlayStation? Did you know the difference between the consoles back then?" I had a PlayStation 2 at launch, and I had an original Xbox at launch. And I think in the middle of that generation, I started playing more on Xbox because of Xbox Live. I mean, that was just, for me, that was the thing. Once I got into online gaming, it was all over. I've been hooked ever since. And I was playing I thought that the games on the PlayStation 2 were fun and stuff like that. But when I was playing games like Escape from Butcher Bay and Halo 1 and 2 and KOTOR and Jade Empire and Crimson Skies and Toe Jam and Earl 3 and Shenmue 2, it was just such a lot of fun. I just was having so much fun with it. It's still one of my favorite consoles. Let's see. Sorry if my mic is a little bit scratchy. I'm adjusting it for a second. Let's see. What type of sports do I like? Who's my favorite team? I like American football. The Baltimore Ravens are my favorite team. I like baseball. Baltimore Orioles are my favorite team. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't have a problem with some other stuff. Like I can deal with some hockey and basketball. I don't really watch or anything, but I used to back in the day. So, let's see. The Slight Light says, "You need to thank your Xbox One fan page. That's where it all started for you. Anyway, congrats on 5K." Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, on Facebook, I admin a Xbox One fan page, and it's almost at 400,000 likes. So it's the one that's called Just for Fun, and you'll see me on there. My name's Frederick, and I post a lot on there. A lot of stuff that I create on my channel goes straight to that page. I created specifically for that. So, and his question is, when will you buy a PS4, and what do you think of Uncharted 4 trailer shown at E3? The visuals looked amazing, and Naughty Dog has confirmed that it was all in-game engine. I don't know when I'll buy a PS4. It certainly won't be just for one game. I mean, they're going to have to show me quite a few things that I'm interested in. And the little Uncharted 4 thing, I mean, it looked good, In-game engine is a lot different, though, than what the final product is going to be look like. This is going to be a case where they're setting themselves up. I mean, that's cutscene or whatever. That just means that they basically rendered something within that engine. It's going to be a bit different when the actual game comes out. So I think it's still going to look great. But if people actually think the game is going to look like that or the gameplay, then I think they're smoking a little bit of crack. Mitchell Hart says, another question, why don't you make a video about the massive patches for games on an Xbox One? Example, Sniper Elite is 0.5 on the PS4, yet over 10 on Xbox. Does this not annoy you? I haven't played Sniper Elite. I don't know about the patches or anything like that. I don't really have a problem, It's not something that I've encountered. I haven't played Sniper Elite. If it's 0.5 on the PS4, okay. If it's 10 on the Xbox, then I'm not sure what the deal is, Let's see, Next Gen Fan. What is your favorite game on the Xbox One and of all time? My favorite game on Xbox One is probably Killer Instinct, but Rise is up there too, yeah, and my favorite game of all time is probably like Halo, one of the Halos or something. Torty Man says, when do you think Xbox will come out with the first masterpiece of a new generation like Halo or Gears of War? I think that's going to be Sunset Overdrive. I think that's going to be the game that's going to put the Xbox One on the map for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to see this game, and they're going to break down and buy an Xbox One. Because why wouldn't you? This game looks phenomenal. I think it's going to be amazing. So let's see. Mitchell Hart says, I have a good question. Do you use false quotes and misleading titles just to please Xbox fanboys who have no knowledge on games? I covered this a little bit earlier. For me, the quote that I used with Yoshida wasn't really a misquote. For me, if you don't understand why people like AAA games or pretty much only like AAA games, then you're not understanding your audience. We buy these consoles for these games. I think that that's the real thing. If you're going to hang up on, one word or whatever, then that's fine. But for the most part, I think that the people that watch my channel or that are fans of my channel, not watch, because I get a lot of people that hate me that watch my channel. But I think that as far as the fans go, um, if you're going to watch my stuff, they're pretty well informed, a lot of other people that I do videos with, they had it in there, right? I think I was the first one to get a video up about this. So, I was going in on it, and I made sure that I linked it and everything and quoted it in the source pretty accurately. I think that it's kind of a shame that this guy is supposed to be appealing his product to every facet of gamers, and he's basically flat out saying he doesn't understand people who don't like indies. And I actually seen big sites take a different slant than even what I took and say Yoshida doesn't understand why people don't like indies. I mean, how is that any different than basically what I'm trying to say? It's not. It's don't blame me for what Yoshida says. There's millions of gamers out there that buy these consoles for AAA experiences. Spider-Man Fantastic Four says, how many years until Sony goes bankrupt? I hope they don't go bankrupt, I hope they don't, because I like the competition. Torty Man says, opinion on the rated D. I don't know what that is or who that is. Sorry, bro. King Matthew V says, where do you see yourself in 8 years? I don't know. Hopefully running animal shelter, living a good life. Chantel Francisco says, what happens? Xbox wins the console wars, or will you buy Assassin's Creed Unity? I don't really worry about the console war. I think that's kind of stupid. Assassin's Creed Unity is looking pretty good, so I probably will buy that. I bought all the other Assassin's Creed games, so why not that one? Mamboon2 says, can you give more detail with the conversation that broke you and Worrywart? It's a shame you guys had issues. Me and Worrywart don't have issues. That was a joke. It was actually Worrywart's idea. People assume that I'm the leader of the podcast with those guys. That's not the truth. We're all equals in that. We can have disagreements and still be friends. It doesn't mean that we have to agree with each other all the time. We're still cool. In fact, me and Worrywart and Kinsey just did a podcast on Thursday. So, let's see. Jeez. Rumika S has a bunch of questions. What are my top 5 games from all my own? Oh, damn! I'm not going to answer my top 5 from all my own consoles. Let's see. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with your Xbox One console? I'd say I'm about an 8. If you could be head of PlayStation for 1 week, what would you do? I would have everybody working on AAA games. I'd be like, hey, let's do some interviews where we don't mention the word indie or free-to-play, and we just talk about AAA experiences and see what happens. How old are you? 32. What was your first video game that you ever played? Was Defender on the Atari 2600. So yeah, I appreciate the questions. Jeremiah Gordon, hello. Do you think we will ever see AO games on consoles? Games that are rated by the ESRB are only suggested on what a game should be rated, yet console manufacturers still refuse to publish them on their system. Your thoughts in general? AO is adults only, right? Like NC-17 would be for rated R movies. I don't think we're going to see anything specifically like that. I think you're going to see like a lot of heavily edited stuff. And if you ever played The Witcher 2, I mean, that was an adults only game in my opinion. There was a lot of stuff in there, the plot, the nudity, the sex scenes and stuff that was just for adults only. So let's see. William Nye, are you still going to debate Blackbuster? No, that's not going to happen. Unless he decides to buy a next-gen console and takes time to check it out and, lets me know what he wants to talk about him and things like that, and we get a moderator and time limits and things like that and actually do a real debate. Stank As says, what's your favorite game on Xbox and favorite on PlayStation 3? Xbox? In general, I don't know. Probably a Halo game. Favorite on PlayStation 3 is Uncharted 2. Who do you think the worst fanboy is? The worst fanboy on YouTube? Me. No. I have no idea because I don't watch a lot of people. You know, like a lot of people find that surprising. They're like, "Oh, you got to know who this person is or that person." That's not true. I don't really watch a lot of people because if you watch my video on tips and suggestions for people starting a YouTube channel, um, one of the main things that I said is, you know, kind of keep to yourself and don't trust anyone because people are opportunists, and there's so many people that are just out there just trying to you know, screw you over to get some subscribers and things like that, or start something so they can do their beef videos, and that's something that you're not going to see on my channel, you know, because the few subscribers that you're going to get from that are people that are going to want to only see beef videos, and I think that's a waste of time when you could be talking about fun stuff like video games, and you know, to me that's what it's all about, you know. Spider-Man Fantastic Four. What's your opinion of Destiny? I think it looks good. I have it pre-ordered on Xbox One. I'm looking forward to being able to play what Bungie can do. I'm a fan of theirs. I think it's cool that I can still play what Bungie does, and I can still play Halo on my Xbox One. Let's see. Hey, Crappy, it's DMF Vendetta, and I have 3 questions. I heard Titanfall 2 might be on the PS4. But Titanfall needs cloud computing and PS4 doesn't have it. I actually didn't realize that this was one of these questions, and I think I'd answered it. But we don't really know about Titanfall's future. Respawn said they aren't even working on anything right now. If it does go to the PS4, I hope that they don't gimp the Xbox One version by making that peer-to-peer or using lackluster servers, because one of the big reasons that it is exclusive on Xbox is because Microsoft let them have servers to run the game for the PC, the Xbox One, and Xbox 360. All 3 of them are using Azure servers, and they're using the computing for AI and things like that. So Sony doesn't own any servers. They rent theirs from Rackspace. So I think that it would be interesting to see how that would be done. And as long as it doesn't interfere with the Xbox One version of the game running on Azure, then I'm fine with it. His next question is, have you heard any updates on Microsoft buying Capcom? There's no update. Honestly, just because Capcom has 51% open for potential buyout doesn't mean anyone will. It was actually open for buyout previously for years and years, and nobody bothered to buy it. So, and 3, why you never come play Titanfall with me when I invite you? Well, I always have my Xbox One on. That thing's pretty much always constantly running, but it doesn't mean I'm sitting right in front of it. So I don't all the time see when I get invites, and sometimes I'm busy. So let's see. XX Michael PX says, I've been here since 367 subs. Congrats, Crap. Hey, I appreciate it, man. An OG sub. Back when I was just doing some lame-ass reviews. Hey, this is Crap Gamer. How you guys doing? Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate the support. Billy Nintendo says, why do Sony fanboys need the damage control when you only state the truth? Do they not want to help Sony? Who cares if it's a Microsoft channel addressing it? I don't know. You know, like people, when they don't like to think that there's bad things about their product. You know, look, I'm a realist, so there's obviously some things that I would change about the Xbox One. A lot of the stuff has already been addressed or is being addressed in future updates or what have you. I think a lot of PlayStation hardcore fanboys are afraid to admit that there's anything wrong with the PlayStation 4, and I think they don't like when there's a channel that continues to grow that is stressing these negative points because they fear like it could get out of control. They don't want the tide to turn to where the internet would maybe be talking bad about their thing. Could you imagine that? Imagine if the internet that hates on the Xbox One right now all of a sudden switched and was hating on the PlayStation. I mean, that would just be bedlam, you know, and I don't think that they want that. So, let's see. Big Sigh. After seeing Next Gen video today, will you hit him up for an early Christmas gift? I know I would. Oh, dude's got bank, no doubt, man. I wish he would give me some of that money. You know, I mean, anytime you can get, I mean, that dude's always buying all kinds of stuff, man. Like, for real, dude. That dude's got a lot of money. Let's see. Pure Apex Skills says, congrats, big dog, Xbox One. And I said, rack 'em up. Thanks for watching. Jadesius said, "Why didn't you debate Blackbuster? We all knew what the outcome would have been, but I would have liked to know your reasoning behind your decision." I already answered this a couple of times. I was never really 100% sure what we were supposed to be debating about. I was assuming that it was Xbox One versus PS4, and then you find out that he doesn't own a next-gen console. And when I actually watched some of his channel for the first time, that wasn't really debating, so I wasn't really interested in something like that. Yeah, just not exactly my thing. So yeah. And at the end of the day, no matter what I would have said, my camp would have been like, "Man, you kicked his ass, Crappy. You did great." And then his people would have been like, "Damn, Blackbuster, you done whooped that white boy." You know what I'm saying? So it would have just been all opinion, and wouldn't have really proved anything because it's just my opinion versus his opinion. So yeah. Let's see. Alex Greer says, "Everyone check out the Facebook group, The Live Squad. It is a group where gamers can organize gaming events with others." I think I'm in the Live Squad, and it is a good group on Facebook. Hard to the Core 64 says, "Do you think we'll have home consoles 10 years from now?" I think we should. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, if you look at what Sony's trying to do, they're trying to get. I think they might be actually trying to get rid of the actual hardware part of the gaming thing. Like they're pushing their like streaming service and stuff. I'm not sure if that's ready or if it'll even be ready in 10 years' time. So I assume that there's going to be consoles in 10 years. I hope so. Wow, another question about Blackbuster Critic about backing down from the debate. Bitching out, dude. It's with video games, man. It's not real. Quit taking this stuff so seriously. What is there to be scared of? Damn, man. Some of you guys seriously like take this stuff way too seriously and too far. He doesn't own a next gen console. How the hell do you debate about next gen consoles when you don't own one, haven't used one, and you don't even, what is the topics, man? I asked the dude. I was like, "Hey, so what do you want to talk about? Contact me. We'll talk it over or whatever." Oh, he doesn't have a next-gen console. Contacted me like basically right before this thing was supposed to happen. So yeah, I'm not going to just jump into something like that to where I can be blindsided because I'm intelligent and I would want to look into what we're debating about so that I could have my points and counterpoints ready to talk out. That's how a debate goes, people. If you don't know what a debate is, look it up. Okay. Lace Chuck says, "Congrats on 5K, bro. You're becoming YouTube famous in the gaming community." His question is, did I ever watch Adam Sessler on G4 TV growing up? Man, I love G4 TV. Him and Morgan Webb, they used to do X-Play. I used to love that. I used to watch like Attack of the Show and like they used to do all kinds of gaming-related stuff. I miss all that stuff. Yeah, it was awesome. Andy260897 says, "Congrats, favorite game of all time." His is Halo 3. He can't wait for the Master Chief Collection. Mine is probably Halo 2 or, probably Halo 2. And, yeah, I'm excited for Master Chief Collection, too. Plain and Simple Man says, "Congrats on your success. You have a good channel." He says he wants me to check out his channel. And he just wants me to check out a video or two. Yeah, man, I'll do that for sure. D4RKX says, "How long have you been a fan of Xbox?" I'm a fan of gaming. I got an Xbox at launch, and I've gotten all of them at launch. So just, I've been hooked since the beginning. Stel Mino says, "Do you hate all the hypocrisy on the big websites and YouTube about Xbox?" I do, because I think a lot of it is unwarranted. I don't even know what the hate is about at this point. I don't think anybody else knows either. It just really gets ridiculous about people don't even know why they're hating anymore. They just hate on it for whatever reason or reasons that never even came to fruition. Like if I hear one more person say they don't like it because Microsoft was going to take away their gaming rights, I think I'll scream because it's such bullshit. Clearly these people aren't looking into the situation if that's what they say, and I'll leave it at that. Alex Greer says, "You're the best, Crappy. Thanks. I appreciate it." Johnny Klebo says, "Will you ever hold a game night on perhaps GTA or Halo Reach?" I own both those games, so maybe. I'm not opposed to hopping on the 360, man. I like that. I like those games. I've never actually done GTA Online, though, so yeah, it would be interesting. Lyrical Mastermind says, congrats. I just jumped on board a few days ago. Also, what are some of the top 10 game franchises from the past that I would like to see make return for this gen? I would love to see Banjo-Kazooie, Viva Pinata, Perfect Dark, let me think. Any of that kind of stuff, like Conquer. I would love to see like another cameo game. A lot of these, mostly, are so far are rare titles, but anything that I like Stubbs the Zombie and Voodoo Vince and Crimson Skies and maybe Shenmue 3. I think any of those things on the Xbox One would be awesome. Johnny Klebit says, "Hey, Crap Gamer, just want to say you're an awesome YouTuber. And what's your favorite thing about Halo? And which is your favorite Halo?" My favorite thing about Halo is the story. I always play the stories first. And my favorite Halo multiplayer is Halo 2. But possibly my favorite Halo story-wise is Halo 4. I just really like that a lot. I'm just a big fan of Halo, man. I love the series. I love the franchise. I think it's just a shitload of fun. And let's see. Panther N says, "How do the exclusive games in 2005 look in your opinion? And what game are you the most excited for?" Let's see, maybe a game that makes you interested into buying a PS4. 2015, we don't know a lot about what's coming out in 2015 aside from, like, on Microsoft's side is going to be Halo 5 and Quantum Break, which are the two bigger titles that I'm interested in. If Uncharted comes out on the PlayStation 4, that's cool, but they're going to need more than one game for me to drop $400, and like the Order isn't looking like it's going to be it for me. I don't really care about Bloodborne because I don't like the Dark Souls games or Demon Souls or any of that stuff. Other than that, there's not a whole lot on the PS4 that interests me at all, So yeah, that's kind of one of those things that sucks. It's just there's not a lot there for me personally. And that's the last one so far. Yeah, I've already done this for over an hour. Wow, I got a lot of people in the comment section. Hey, what's up, fellas? How you guys doing over there? Man, you guys had a bunch of some like mama jokes going on over there? This is interesting, like how I set this up today is different. I set up this live stream, and then there's like a comment section on the right side. That's pretty cool, actually. Do any of you guys over here have a question real quick that are in the chat box? Let's see. Oh wow, you guys are like just like going off on each other. Let me see if I can find another question. Whoa, easy with the with the racism and stuff there. Mohaid Alahandi says, "Hey, Crap Gamer, what is your take on PlayStation exclusive versus Xbox exclusive?" It all comes down to opinion, man. I mean, like for me, it was like Killer Instinct, Rise, Titanfall, Dead Rising 3, Sunset Overdrive, Forza Horizon 2, the Master Chief Collection, Quantum Break. These games all appeal to me greatly, and so far PlayStation 4 hasn't really done that with a single game. There's not a game that I've seen for it, in my opinion, that made me say, "Wait, hey man, I got to get me I got to get me a PS4." Let's see. Sid Suriano says, "Hey, Crap, you're an Xbox Pro commentator. Why the need to talk shit about PS4? You should just talk about Xbox. That's why you get so much hate." I'm a pro Xbox channel, meaning that I prefer Xbox and I cover mostly Xbox stuff. But that doesn't mean that I'm not free to do what I want with my channel and talk about whatever I want. And I choose to talk about a lot of the stuff regarding Sony that the big sites won't cover. And so if you're saying, "Hey, don't talk shit about PlayStation because that's why you get hate," then I'll say I'll continue to talk about PlayStation because I don't mind the hate. I don't, threats and stuff doesn't bother me. The hate doesn't bother me. You can't really, I'm not really. There's nothing that PlayStation fans can do to me to get me to stop. You can try. I think it'd be entertaining. Hopefully, my channel continues to grow and people actually see some of the faults with Sony. I'd like to see that. So, yeah, I definitely think that that it would be cool. Let's see. Crap Gamer Reviews. Do you think Sony will have as many games as the PS3 did? I'm assuming you're saying the PS4 will have as many exclusives. Not even close. Not even close. They're really going to be lucky to get half as much, to be honest with you. Maybe even a third. Let's see. What is my thoughts on Crytek? Sucks for them, man. It sucks that people, rent games and buy games used instead of buying them new. I hope that, hope they turn out okay, or that a company comes in and shores them up. Let's see. Alex Greer says, "Are you coming to any Live Squad events?" I might. I might. When is my Xbox meetup event? I'm gonna do videos on that. I'm gonna do possibly 3 or 4 games, a game a night. So yeah, we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see about that. Anyway, man, I really appreciate you guys coming out and checking out this video, man. 5,000 is great. I'll never be the type of person that's not grateful for the people that come and watch. The views never really matter to me. Like, I always think it's funny, and it's a bonus when the Sony fans will come view my stuff. If I put, hey, I'm having fun on Xbox One, I know that the Sony fans are going to come out in force and view that, and sometimes I just do that to fuck with people. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of fun for me to worry about views at that point in time. But as a whole, I don't. If people are obsessed with their views, then that's good for them. To me, it never mattered. I care about the fun, and if I ever stop having fun, I'll stop doing it. As long as I'm having fun and having a good time, I'm going to continue to do so, and continue to grow my channel and just do the best that I can. I tried to appeal to as many different people as possible. I do reviews, previews, gameplay videos, let's plays, news, rumors. I do it all. I try to do a little bit of everything. Podcasts, which if you guys haven't checked out my podcast that I do, sometimes it's every week. It's usually Thursdays or Saturdays, but I do those with Warrior Wart and Kinsey Burke, and those are a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys like something a little different than what I do with the Small Talk Big Gamers, So yeah, no, there's not a Big Gamers podcast today. Those are on Sundays, usually probably in the early afternoon. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming out. And no, Sony's not going to buy Crytek, dude. They don't have the money. I think they have a great relationship with Sony anyway. If anybody would, I don't even think Crytek is in the position to be bought. I think they could be struggling a little bit, but you would see one of their studios closed before anything like that happened. But yeah. Anyway, thanks you guys for coming out and checking out this this live stream. I'll do it again someday. I'm appreciative to everybody. I really think that obviously it wouldn't be as fun without people watching my stuff. So thanks to everybody. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.